times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled waters. I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled waters. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled waters. I will lay me down. Sit on silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on the way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled waters. I will ease your mind, like a bridge over troubled waters. I will ease your mind. I can ride on the wings of the morning. I can fly to the ends of the sea. I can hide in the sands of forever, but you will keep following me. I can laugh from my ivory tower, making plans for how great I shall be. I can sleep in my dreams of the future. Even there you'll be speaking to me. I can't run away, I can't hide away, I can't find a way from you. You have the words of life, see me and know my heart. Help me to stay and live closer to you. Sing us a song, you're the piano man, however late we may be. Sing us a song tonight. Oh my goodness, Rachel has been mending everything, you know, because we're all in the mood for a melody, and I've dressed up, you know, just this time.
We have.
And you've got us feeling. Sing it along with me all over the country. All right. There we are. I've lost my mouth organ thing, so who cares? I'll go la 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 la. It's 8 o'clock, 8:07 on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He says, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets me my drinks for free, and he's quick with a joke, or he'll light up your smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. John, I believe this is killing me, as a smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, I hope you are, and you got us feeling all right. It's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday. Who knows?
Yes.
And after all this faffing around, you can't believe that Rachel's coming down to stay with us on Friday.
Woohoo!
And she's going to rip the place out. I think just this room, I hope.
You're going to lock her in the Steinway
I'm
room.
going away for 3 days. And she's plugging in another 27 wires and messing around. I think she's going to redecorate while she's here. And but we don't mind. And we've got a lovely guest in tonight, and she's been such a lovely lady. She's been putting down the curtains. She's redecorated the lounge. Oh no, hold on.
She's been
That's
rearranging
going to be
the
out,
furniture.
I think. Rearranging the furniture.
Yes.
But we got
lovely
a
lady.
fashion show for you tonight, and our main model tonight will be dun 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 dun.
Mr. Jonathan Veira.
Yeah, right, yeah. I won't be trying those dresses on, I'll tell you that.
Well,
There's another story involved in that.
One size fits all.
Yeah, but not this all. I think there might be...
All this all.
Yeah, I think they were having a bit of a laugh then. I think Maria was just having a joke, okay? When she said all, I don't think she was meaning this all. I think I've looked at my all, and trust me, that all will never be covered up with those dresses. But it's quite good because apparently you can breastfeed them, so that'd be quite useful for me, wouldn't it, really? Anyway, enough. So it's a... It was good to get back to shouting at each other, wasn't it?
Yeah,
just
we
before the
missed
show.
that.
We missed all that.
We
Yeah,
missed
whole week
that.
off.
Yeah.
I celebrated my mother's 90th birthday in her house, and it was nice to see her and
It was lovely to see
family
her.
sitting around, and
Having fun, being surrounded by her family, sitting in a chair, looking like the Queen.
she did.
She did.
She didn't get up. I told her to get
Yeah,
up.
it was
She needed to
lovely.
do a wee. She should have got up. But I'm just going to say to you, it's a pretty good crowd for Sunday.
It is.
And the manager.
The rumour going round is that I've hidden it.
I'll play some more then.
No.
Oh, wrong way.
Campfire going. Yeah.
Sounds really out of tune, doesn't it? I got the wrong one.
Could be a reason.
Ah! Yeah. I thought that's for all of you who missed it. And a manager. She gives me a smile.
Or an eye roll, or the case.
I had the piano tuned today.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sounds much better.
See, that's better, isn't it? That's better. Because she knows that it's me and my extraordinary piano skills.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'll be over in a minute. Because she knows that it's me. They've been coming to see for about 3 years, actually, on next Sunday.
3 years.
To forget about life. 3 years. How could anybody stay with me for 3 years? You stayed with me for 40, haven't you?
40.
For a while. Oh, and the piano, it sounds like a carnival. And the microphone, it smells like a beer. And they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? La 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Thank you for joining us tonight, and as the piano dies away, we welcome you to yet another, I think it's 120th, I don't know how it is now, JV live from the Steinway room. And to add to your delight, we have the very special John, where's my CD, Greenwood coming on. The great John, what's his name? John the Great.
Greenwood.
John the Great Greenwood coming on to do a trick for us in around about 15, 20 minutes. So stand by, and hopefully he's practicing at this very moment to do some magic. I've asked him how it's done, and he said if I told you I'd have to kill you, so that's the end of that. Oh, instead, here is a little song I recorded some time ago. Sometimes it amazes me how strong the power of love can be. Sometimes you just take my breath away.
mind. Sometimes restless, sometimes wide. Sometimes you just take my breath away. And it's too good to slip by, and it's too good to lose. Too good to be there, just to you. I'm gonna stand on the mountaintop and sing the news that you take my breath away. Take my breath away. Yeah, and it's too good to slip by, and it's too good to lose. Too good to be there, just to use. I'm gonna stand on the mountaintop and tell the news that you take my breath away. Sometimes it amazes me. Sometimes it amazes me. Sometimes it amazes me. Sometimes it amazes me.
When did I do that last time?
Well, that was. I don't think you've. Have you ever sung that?
I don't think I've ever sung it in public.
Well,
We recorded that in it was Pilgrim.
It was.
The record was Pilgrim.
2008. 2008.
2008.
Woo.
And it's one of my albums. It's the first time I did. What's the song I sing with Bryn now? I Want Jesus to Walk With Me.
That's right.
And a few others. Great album that. Do we still have it?
We have a few but
left.
they're almost out of print now.
Are they? Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It's on. You can see it on Spotify. Hear it, listen to the whole album on Spotify. But that's the one by Chris Eaton. You cannot help within to call my own. For I am clear of heart and still at home. That deep within and up a song. Because I am guided by the faithful one. And he gave that to me, he wrote that one, so I could sing it. Now, this one, I want to see, I love that song. Did people enjoy that one?
They did enjoy it.
Well, it's just different, isn't it?
It's
different. This one, I went to do a conference.
That you did.
For speaking at a conference for the Woodard group of schools up in Leamington Spa. It was last Tuesday, I believe it was. And I come to, and it was about children's education, religious education in schools and things, and how you can be more creative in the way that they do it. Because often it's just not being very creative. Often, chapel can be boring, and that's what children leave the school hating chapel. Whenever I've gone into these big schools,
you were doing an inspirational talk, weren't you? Inspirational, motivational talk to head teachers of these schools.
It was.
And trying to get them to think about.
Quite intimidating, but there you are.
Yes, it was a bit. Trying to get them to think differently about the way that they
thought about children as well.
Yeah.
And I think this was
You were very good.
Was I good?
You were very
Well, this song I'd used, it was a Billy Joel song that I came up the night before, and it was very relevant. This is the lovely, it's called 2,000 Years, and it's about what's happened in these 2,000 years. And I love, some of these lines are just absolutely crucial. And when it came to children, it says, "This is our moment here at the crossroads of time. We hope our children carry our dreams down the line. They are our vintage." I love that. They are the vintage, actually. The vintage. What a lovely thought. Just think about that. They are the vintage. What kind of life will they live? Is this a curse or a blessing that we give? And I just thought actually very, very relevant what we pass on to children now in schools. And I love, therefore, I'm very up and, trying to, I think this week's, this thing about truth was, once again, in the press. People were asking, what is the truth? So when we hear Boris being interviewed, we're asking what the truth of the matter is. And when
you were very strong on that point, actually.
I was?
I thought the point you made was inspired.
Well, what was the point I made? Can you remember?
You were talking about the fact that it's important to communicate this to the kids. It's important to communicate more than just nice feelings and so on, but so that they can hark back to it in later life. And as Jonathan pointed out, these schools are going to be the kind of schools that are going to be turning out really sort of captains of industry, politicians, heads of banks, that kind of thing. And he said, who knows, the child that you have convinced of the need to have truth in their lives could be the one that makes the decision that changes the world. It
changes, because if one way or the other, it changes it. So it was that. But this it goes...
In the beginning, there was the cold and the night. Prophets and angels gave us the fire and the light. Man was triumphant, armed with the faith and the will, that even the darkest ages couldn't kill. Too many kingdoms, too many flags on the field, so many battles, so many wounds to be healed. Time is relentless, and only true love perseveres. But it's been a long time, and now I'm with you after 2,000 years. This is our moment, here at the crossroads of time. We hope our children carry our dreams down the line. They are the vintage. What kind of life will they live? Is this a curse or a blessing that we give? And sometimes I wonder, why are we so blind to fate without compassion? There can be no end to hate, no end to sorrow, caused by the same endless fears. Why can't we learn from all we've been through after 2,000 years? After the last war is won, science and poetry ruled in the new world to come. Prophets and angels gave us the power to see. What an amazing future there will be. And in the evening, after the fire and the light, one thing is certain: nothing can put out the night. Time is relentless, and as the past disappears, we're on the verge of all things new. We are 2,000 I just like the song because it's got
great
lots of
song.
sentiment.
Yeah, John Bowen says he doesn't know the song, but you know what a great song it is, and it is actually. I have to say that I've sort of obviously listened to it, but I hadn't really sort of listened to the words.
No,
so
they really do
very
impact.
Strong words, very strong.
And this one,
words,
so that was now. I'm
This
going to sing
one.
a really lovely one.
This is a lovely song for Pauline and David. It's your 59th
Happens to be
wedding.
59.
59 years.
Gordon Bennett, I can't imagine another 19 years with you.
Oh, makes
That's
me feel
gonna.
all over.
Oh dear me.
Congratulations, you two lovely people.
Well done. I think you deserve a medal
Yes.
or something. All right, both of you. Because I think I'm good. I think I've decided that when you're done with me, I'm going to go and live with Alexa. Alexa, how are you?
Don't start.
She's not answering. Typical. Alexa, yeah, because at least she does what I say normally. That's good, isn't it? It's quite nice. Here we go.
Thank you, Rachel.
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me dear, tell me you are mine. For I'll be yours through all the years, till the end of time. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. Oh, my darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me true. All my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always I have to say, Lynn
Wow.
and Jim. No, not Lynn and Jim. Who was this one
This
for?
was for
Pauline and David.
Barry.
And
they're
here's
lovely
another
people.
59. We met them, didn't we?
Oh,
I thought have we not met
did
them?
we?
I think we may have met them.
But the thing is that actually, because you called out to Alexa, everybody's Alexa started answering. I'm only apologising because a few of you have had. So
no.
poor Karen,
Yeah.
Karen Bate,
Yeah.
she said apparently Alexa is feeling a bit windy because people keep asking her to tell fart jokes. So of course now Heather wants to know why Alexa is talking about farts.
Can I just say, Sue,
I'm just apologising to
Sue,
everyone
can
now.
And I want to, I personally, and listen to me when I say I really do apologise. Alexa, how are you?
You're just a naughty boy.
I can only hope. I love
It's
a
a bit
live
like
show. Don't you
it's
love
a
a live
bit
show?
like the time when
Why
I
d-
said
Oh.
that Poppy and Lily used to say, Alexa, play Grandad. used
And they
to
went,
get Clive Dunn.
Granddad,
Yes.
Granddad, you're lovely.
Right.
All right.
Enough of this frivolity.
Frivolity.
So something
I-
serious
it
coming
is-
up here.
it is
Something
swell.
serious.
It is. Well.
Are we not having Mr. Greenwood in?
Oh, okay.
He's all
He's all ready to go. He's all ready to
ready.
go. And I think actually I need to put my glasses on so I can see him in all his glory. Now, can I just say that before we just click onto him, John, Where's My CD Greenwood, has been part of the community almost, I would say, from the beginning. It's nearly 3 years now. And he regularly writes to me and he says, I love you to bits. I love you to bits, Jonathan and Sue. And so we love him to bits too. And he's a dear member of the community. I have no idea whether the Magic Circle is ever going to admit him into their hallowed ranks, right? But we shall see, and you shall be the judge of this. Give him a big round of applause. John the Great. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, all the way into the room. Here he is. Here's John the Great. I don't know whether John. I don't think your wife gave you that title, did she? John the Great. John. Oh, have we lost sound? Sound? Here, is it going terribly well? Is it you, Rachel, or is it him? Here we go again. John, have you pressed the sound?
That's the first magic trick.
That's the
getting
magic
the
trick.
sound.
Okay. Is he on? There we are, John.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey!
John, now listen, the next time, right, I'll give you a great big build-up like this. The drums were rolling, everything was going, all right? And where were you? You hadn't pressed the button. You've got to learn the basics of magic, John, now.
Can you hear me, John?
I certainly can now, John, yeah.
Mate.
Can you hear
ready
me?
to see some magic?
I am. Now, John, before you do that, tell me how you got into doing magic in the first place.
Right, well, I was about 11 or 12 years of age, and my dad saw an advert in the Liverpool Echo for the Junior Merseyside Magic Circles. And me and my friend and my sister, we all joined. And that's how I got into magic. And that year, I got Sooty's magic set for Christmas.
Yes, I remember that one. It's a fantastic one.
Sooty was one of my all-time heroes.
Yes. What? Not Sweep?
Not Sweep, Sooty.
Oh, all right. I like Sweep because he was a bit more violent, wasn't he?
So as a man at the church, I've used tricks in sermons and kids' talks and stuff like that. And I've done kids' parties by request.
Yeah.
And during lockdown, I decided to get a bit more into it. And I recently launched my own Magic Moments YouTube channel, which people can subscribe to.
That is fantastic, John. Well, we haven't got all day. We want to see some real magic. Are you going to cut somebody in half or something like that? No?
No, I'm going to show you this traffic light trick for me, John.
Yeah,
is that okay?
I would love to see it.
Right, so here we've got a set of traffic lights.
Yeah.
We've got a green ball, a yellow ball, and a red ball. And we've also got this tube. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the tube over it, and then we're just going to take the balls out. So we've got the red ball. Hang on. Hang on a minute. Right. This is a Tommy Cooper show. You've got to get that right to start with. But we'll just, I'll show you this one instead. Hang on. So we've got an empty tube here. And then I'm going to cover it up with this. And then I'm going to put some sweets in it. Like that. We're going to put a pink sweet in it. And then we're going to put a yellow sweet in it. And then we're going to say, Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy. And now we've turned the two sweets into a big tub full of sweets like that.
Wow. Goodness gracious me.
And then we've got a tub here. We've got a black handkerchief and a white handkerchief. We're going to put the black handkerchief in first. And then we're going to put the white handkerchief in. Then we're going to say the magic words, bing, bang, boom. And the black handkerchief turns into a white handkerchief. And the white handkerchief turns into a black handkerchief.
It's just stunning. Right, are we going back again?
He's still talking, but we can't hear him.
Oh. We've lost sound. We've lost the sound. What's happened? What's happening? Is she writing to you? John, we just lost the sound, but we saw. I think we're done. Can you see me? I think we're done. I think we're over and done. John, we're going to have to get another trick on another point. We've lost you. We've lost your sound. So sorry we couldn't do it, but bless you and thank you for coming on.
My dad phoned me in the middle of it.
That's it. He's gone. Thank you, Rachel. His dad phoned him in the middle of it.
Well done, John.
John, thank you very much. Are we off now? Are we off now? We're off. Are we off
Winding
now?
up our evening.
Thank you very much. Now, can we just can we go to the next song? I think it is.
Yeah, let's go to the next song.
It is well with my soul.
Indeed, it
so,
is.
Rachel, are you there? And can you?
Alexa to turn off Grandad.
Oh. When peace like a river tendeth my way. Look, I have to stop this. Sorry, Rachel, can you stop this? Stop it. You just stop it. Just stop it and we'll start again in a minute because this is not in the right attitude. Right, here we go. Now, what's happened is... Right, so sit down. Maria, our special guest, is next door.
She's sitting
and
cosily
she's
next
sitting
door, and she just come in and said,
She said, could you
tell
tell
Alexa to
stop playing Grandad?
Maria, I am so sorry, my dear. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's too funny. I'm sorry. That has got me going well and truly. Sorry.
And breathe.
And breathe. And it seems
hysterical
that we
tonight.
lost... I overheard John's message, and he said that his dad had phoned him in the middle whilst because he used the phone
Oh, right,
to do the magic trick. So his
okay,
phone...
but we'll have him back on
his
again.
dad phone. We'll have him back on again
that
without
was
the
good.
phone.
That was good.
That was very... Well, I saw the black and the white, and I saw the white and the black.
Clever.
Yeah, but what happened to the traffic lights? They got stuck. Yeah, I like that. They often do. They get stuck on green, or whatever
red,
colour it is, or red.
Usually
And well,
get
I'm
stuck
going to
on
use
red.
this opportunity to stop for a second, and I'm just going to say about this book here, Highway 35. If you have not yet heard the interview with the Arthurs, I would highly recommend you go on YouTube and you look for the last time we were on. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
And
12th.
the Arthurs have written a book called Highway 35, and these were the people who had a tragic accident where they lost both of their legs, and they came in and talked very candidly and openly about their experiences. And it was just many people wrote in and said it's the most moving and most one of their favourite ones, and they've had some many good favourite ones over the time. So I just recommend that to you. What is it, Sue? How much does it cost? Not a lot. £12, £15, something like that. And you go online, just put it into the Highway 35, and I think it's come up on. I think Rachel has put it up on the screen. Okay, she has. And so, if you can go and get that, I would be delighted to hear this. You'd be delighted to hear and read their story because there's so much more than they were able to tell us. Rachel, now we've ended up stopping that special song. Sue, can you tell us who this is for?
Yes, I can. This is particularly, I would like to dedicate this to our dear friends in the community, Lynn and Jim. We all know that, most of us know that Lynn had cancer discovered just sort of New Year's Day last year, and she's been so brave and gone through major operations and so on. And she's recently been having some treatment which has left her very tired and very weary. And she's had a bit of a break from it, and then she got ill in the break. So, and Jim's not been very well either. So we just want to say that we love you, and we know that sometimes it's not well with everything, but you know that it's well with your soul. And I just felt that this was an appropriate song for them, and perhaps for some other people who are struggling with life today.
And let's have it, Rachel, this time. We'll go for it.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though trial should come, let this blessed assurance throne, that Christ hath regarded my helpless estate, and has shed his own blood for my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. And Lord, haste the day when my faith shall be sight, the clouds be rolled back as a scroll, the trumpet shall sound, and the Lord shall return. Even so, it is well with my soul. 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 When peace like a river when peace like a
Well, that got lots of hearts. They enjoyed that very much.
What time is it? What's the time?
It
10
is
to.
10 to.
We've got to get him. One, I think we can have a DVD and I'll sing some other stuff. We want to have a little.
Do you want to do the notices afterwards or later? Or but I just need to tell Rachel.
Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to do them now? Yes, that'd be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Oh, okay. We'll do them
Well,
now.
if you like,
Rachel.
well, in between, and then we'll have a video, and then we'll get our special guest
Okey-dokey.
in.
Excellent.
So, what's happening this week, Susan, with you? Anything?
So this week we don't. Well, actually, as we can see, the next show is on the 22nd of April. We're looking forward to going to Alan's Church, Christchurch, Flackwell Heath, and it will be a great evening helping to raise awareness and funds for Restored Charity, which, as you all know, is Becca Legg's charity. So that's going to be a great evening, 22nd of April. The 28th of April, we will be up in Scotland in Troon. And then on the 6th of May, we'll still be in Scotland at Blair Gowrie and having a great time up there. Back on the 13th, we will be down in Sheringham in Norfolk. Come June, we will be in Southport on the 17th. I'm hoping to see John Greenwood there, which will be great. And Sharon Wilson, I know, will be there. And Ali will be there. So lots of people that we know will be there. Likewise, in Newbury, Methodist Church, on the 24th of June. So a lot going on. Not forgetting St John the Evangelist Church in Churchdown on the 8th of July. These are all dates that will be in the diary on the website, so you can see all the details there. August, we are going to be spending 2 weeks at the Thornley Hotel. If you haven't booked it yet and you're wanting to, please get a wriggle on, because they need to know how many people they've got coming. And basically, we are doing 2 weeks there where we have a great time with people. We do a little bit of chat with them in the morning and give them a bit of thought.
Then a concert in the evening.
Yeah,
really,
a concert in the evening. So a sort of thought for the day to go out with in the morning, then a concert in the evening, and it's lovely because it's all very inclusive of everyone, isn't it? Everyone gets a chance to say something and be part of it.
And the theme this week, this year for us will be story. Basically, your story, the narrative of the gospel, and how your God's story interacts with God's story, or God's story interacts with yours, and how we find ourselves actually in communities. And because it's one long story, that's what we love about this show.
And then what we will also have is that there'll be a concert in the middle, which is their 50th anniversary concert. And so you can either book the week before and the concert, or the concert and the week after. So lots of options there for people, and it's going to be a great time away. And then at the end of September, we have a concert in Stoke-on-Trent.
And then another one coming up after that?
And then another one coming up, yes, just put that one in the diary, which is good news. The Steinway room is, of course, next week is our 3rd birthday. I cannot believe I'm saying this. It all feels very real, doesn't it? I think with all the notices about what's going on and remembering 3 years ago, we suddenly realise what it felt like. You know, you've got your memories coming up on Facebook, and suddenly we're looking at it and going, oh, actually, 3 years ago we were just thinking about starting a show, and look where we are. Here are our friends in our front room still 3 years later, which is awesome.
It's nice. Those of you who stayed and have remained loyal,
thank you.
We are very thankful for you.
We are. So, yes, so Rachel will be with us next week, which will be wonderful. So, Jonathan Veira YouTube channel. Those of you who haven't subscribed, please do. Just click the subscribe button, and you don't have to pay anything, but it just means that we have access to some more facilities for our YouTube channel, which will be wonderful. I think that's what we might just call a day on the...
YGAF. Can we put YGAF up, please?
We can put YGAF
YGAF
up.
up.
Yes,
This is
we'll
not be
find
forgotten
that.
because Adrian will be listening tonight, and I think will be thanking us. If you have any needs, and this is aimed at you guys.
Yeah, please.
Okay, we had somebody come on this week who's in a particular state and needs some real help, had a really bad time, and can do with a little arm round her financially. And they were straight onto it, and I think actually this may be you. And so if you need it, then please contact us. If you feel embarrassed, you know, I never take money, I don't do this. This could be you. One day, listen, it could be us. You know,
well,
we have been in
along
that
those
position
lines,
before.
we have been in that position before, and we know that you guys helped us out a huge amount over the years, where you just sort of recognised that we weren't earning and we needed some help. So, you know, we're so grateful for that, and therefore we want to make it possible for you to do the same thing. So don't think, oh well, you know, there's other people out there who need it more. Well, let us be the judge of that. Actually,
Let us help you.
We would like to try and help you and just put our arm around you and say, it's all right, you're not alone in this.
And conversely, if you feel you have some spare little, it doesn't
Pennies?
matter how many
Spare
pennies. Remember, it's the widow's mite that makes the difference, and it's that you can help contribute and keep that fund buoyant, and so we can keep giving out to people. They've given, so I think 53, it'd be probably 55 grants to people over this time, ranging from washing machines to beds to taxis to whatever is needed at that time in a small way. We cannot, unfortunately, pay your mortgage for you. I'd love to do that, but we can't do that. But what we can do is we can help you and aim you towards the help that CAP gives, Christians Against Poverty, and they can help you do that. And we will have them back on. We've got to have them back on,
We will.
very soon. So, all of that's done.
All of it's done.
All of it's done. In which case, put the video on. Let's get our next guest in. Your song. Rachel posted this, got a great response.
Including from Jonathan.
Yeah.
He was so excited to see it, and he was even more excited when our son Nick came round for supper, and he looked at it and he went, Dad, you look so cool in this.
So I'm thinking of
Has
adopting
he
that
ever
look
said
from
that
now on.
before?
Never.
He's never said that
So I'm going to
before.
grow my hair out long at the back and wear a cap and small sunglasses and be 26 years younger.
He is.
26 years younger!
You can hear it in the voice.
Oh,
can't
it's
you?
so high.
High voice.
Have a nice time. Listen to this one, and we welcome our special guest, Maria, into the room in 2 seconds.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who makes potions in a drive-in show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. You can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I sat on the roof, well, I kicked off the moss with a few of the verses, well, they got me quite cross. But the sun's been quite kind while I wrote this song. It's for people like you that keep it turned on. So excuse me for getting, but these things I do, well, you see, I've forgotten if they're green or the blue. Anyway, the thing is, what I really mean, yours are the sweetest eyes that I've ever seen. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is when you're in the world. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is when you're in the world.
Well, goodness gracious me. That took me aback a bit, just a little bit. I realised it was 26 years ago that was on. 26 years. I was young, promising. I had hair at the back, didn't I?
Lovely
hair at the back, curls at the back.
curls at the back.
Literally, everywhere I went, women were fainting all over the place, weren't they? So,
Wow.
when you not fainting, fainting, was it for different reasons, probably?
Yes.
But I tell you, what was very shocking was yesterday. Oh, we went out for a little drive, didn't we?
We did.
And we went for a lovely drive down to
Thought it would be
Goring.
rather nice
and
to go.
off we went, just for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And then we went and we had, we went to, what was it used to be called?
It used to be Harry Ramsden's.
Harry
But
Ramsden's.
it's
And we
now
like
another
Harry
fish
Ramsden's.
restaurant.
Got fish and chips, treat ourselves to fish and chips. We walked in and there was the menu and we looked at it and it was going, oh, well, £12.95 and £15 and whatever. For that. And I was thinking, goodness, prices have gone way up. And then I turned the menu over and then I saw what threw horror and dismay into my very being
great.
when I saw an old age pension or 60
No,
plus
over 60s.
over 60s
60s.
special. And I looked at it, and that moment when you think, I'm not going to admit this. I'm not going to go, hello.
Can I have the
waiter,
over 60s?
Can I have the over 60s?
I
'cause
had no
do you know
trouble
what?
with it.
No,
I
but
had no trouble
worse, they didn't even ask for identification. They didn't even say to me, no, you don't look anything like that. How could you possibly be 60? And I tried to say that about Sue, and they went, yeah, she looks about 66. Yeah, you see, there you go, Sue.
I have
you
no
know when
problem with
old
it.
people, they always say to you things like, you say,
I
well,
know.
you'll never guess how old I am. And you go, 136. All right, calm down, they say. Now, because you suddenly find yourself in that restaurant, and we got 2 minutes, it was $9.95, wasn't it? And here's the menu. Fish and chips, cup of tea.
Yes. My idea of
Cup
heaven.
of tea.
Heaven.
I mean, and then bread and butter pudding or ice cream. I thought, have they kind of tapped into an old people's network and gone,
Yeah, what
right,
had you
what's your
said?
favourite stuff?
What he had said earlier on before he turned it over was, bread and butter pudding. So he got it part of the meal.
Yes, so I got it part of the meal. So
great.
there we were.
That's really great.
So I deliberately didn't have a cup of tea just to annoy them.
And I
and I
had
said,
both.
you had both cups of tea.
Yes, I had
Yes,
both.
that's right. And so I had my Diet Coke and there we were. Anyway, that was back then. But now on to something much more
more fun.
exciting.
Much more fun.
Well, much more interesting because
Yes.
today we have, ladies and big drum roll, here she's going to be on split screen, Maria Skoyles. Bum, ba-da-dun, dun, 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 dun. Hey, Maria, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. What a welcome.
Oh, I know. Well, we try for the big welcome. You know, the big
did
rolled
well.
drum and all that kind of stuff. But it's so good to have you here. And you are Skoyles Nee
Cooper.
Yay.
Yes.
And Michael Cooper. You must be sitting there, both of you.
The whole family.
The whole
The whole
family
family
watching.
are
Oh,
on
they?
apparently, yeah.
Oh, it's very
no pressure at all.
Right, Maria, don't get it wrong.
No.
Like we've got it wrong. Can I just say to
The
the
bar
Cooper
is set
family?
very low today.
It is very low. Okay, we were late getting on. The internet's. You were
It did.
witness to this.
Yeah,
You were-
everything went wrong.
Oh, everything that could go wrong was going wrong, and yet you, beautifully, I have to say, what a compliment to both of you, the Coopers, to say that when all around you were losing your mind,
Yes.
you were just
Sitting
saying,
there
keep your marbles in the right
tranquilly.
place, and there you were, tranquil as making your own cups of tea as
I
well.
was, yes.
You're
yes.
pulling down the blinds.
Yes, making myself
warning
at
us that
home.
Grandad was on and Alexa was operating.
Yes. But it was next door.
I'm sorry. Maria, your daddy asked us to have you in some time ago,
He
and I know
did.
you were slightly embarrassed by it, but in fact you don't
Yes.
need to be embarrassed about it. You can't hide your light under a bushel, girl. You're doing some fantastic thing. And in fact, I just want to talk to a little about, before we get into the kind of the fashion show, because this will be the first fashion show in 3 years in JV, live from the Steinway room.
I'm honoured.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a bit of a fashion statement on my own, obviously, but me being cutting edge aside.
Well, the sunglasses proved it from 26 years ago.
Yeah, but I was cutting edge 26 years ago. Okay? And now I've gone to old geezer who eats fish and
Over
chips
60.
over 60s. But tell us a little bit about you, because I'm fascinated by people. I love people with stories, as everybody knows. Every week, I love to find people who tell us their story. And so, how did you? What did you study at school? Let's start there.
Well, I guess the most exciting thing I studied at school was textiles. I did GCSE textiles, and one of my projects was this waistcoat, jacket and skirt made of black corduroy and burgundy corduroy with this lovely embroidered leaf thing up the front. I still have the waistcoat.
Really?
Yes.
You still wear it?
Yeah, well, it's in the wardrobe, but it comes out occasionally. But yeah.
I know, in the wardrobe it's a bit tricky. I've still got stuff in the wardrobe that fits me from nearly 30 years ago. Scarf, gloves,
Tie.
hat, tie, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
That still fits me. So that's good. But you started at 16
Yep, started
doing
at
that.
16, and then after school, I went on to a further education.
Hold your mic close.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's it. Otherwise,
I'll use this hand, and then I can be more
you can
expressive with this one.
gesticulate
Yes.
with your right.
I went to further education college.
Yes.
An art college in Wisbech, and I studied a BTEC in fashion and clothing.
Wisbech, that's on that's in the east of England, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Gosh,
yes, yes.
I remember Wisbech.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well
it's
done.
lovely.
Yeah, nice
Very
flat
nice.
lands.
Yeah,
Yep,
very
yep,
flat.
Yep.
Lay garment out on that, can't you? You can lay your fabric. I just want you to
fabric.
pour
Yeah.
fabric.
Well done, fabric.
Did I
Good
get that
job.
right?
Yeah, good job. Yeah, yep. I'll get you pressing in a minute
You will
instead
not.
of ironing.
You certainly will stop that. So, any talk of ironing, I'm out of here. I'm
Yeah.
straight down to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, okay.
Right, now, go on.
Yeah, so I studied fashion and clothing for 2 years there, and then went on to do a HND. And something of interest that's kind of related to this project is that the my final project was a piece of software that took a pattern from a base size and made it made to measure. So I'd really got into how to grade a garment so it would fit someone's personal measurements.
See, that is something.
Fascinating. Yeah.
And that was a piece of software.
It was a crude software piece of software.
Yes.
It worked as a sort of macro behind the scenes of a piece of
Yes.
grading software.
Yes.
And basically the X and Y coordinates of the patterns moved according to the size that you put in of someone's body measurement. So it was all to do with algebra and
Were you good at that?
I was a bit mathsy, yeah.
So-
Sorry.
so-
I'm hating you already.
Jonathan, think about this suit that you had made last
Yes.
year,
Yes.
and the
Yeah.
fact that he took measurements of everything and put it all
Everything.
into
Well,
the-
but being on the stage, of course, they make clothes for us in the opera houses.
Yep.
So the makers are constantly coming in and doing probably 35 measurements.
Yeah.
You know, of everything from
Yep.
neck to back, from the
Yep.
down the round
Yep.
the cuff,
Yep.
cuff and up the arm and
Yep.
because they need it on in Covent Garden and Glove. They needed it to work properly. But
Yep.
I've never been aware of it. I suppose I've never had a suit made.
Yeah.
And then a friend was very generous and made this suit for me. I mean, had this suit made for me.
Yeah.
And it's the most
wonderful.
I just love it. I just love that when
Yeah.
something's made for you
Yes.
and it fits properly.
Yes.
You know,
It makes you feel good, doesn't it?
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Maria, it does.
Yeah.
Is that what clothing? Is that what kind of flicks your switch about this?
I think for me, it's important that you wear things that you feel confident in and that you feel comfortable in at the same time. And I spent several years in industry after I finished at college as a pattern cutter and a grader. I worked on the factory floor, used to make life jackets every 18 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
One life jacket every 18 minutes.
Yeah. Well, the aim was 22 minutes.
Yes.
But if I got them down to 18 minutes, I was able to leave early.
I love that. How was it working? That must have been quite a thing working on a factory. I've never worked in a factory. What it was like?
It was a small workshop, but it really did teach me the importance of how to be efficient on a sewing machine, and I wanted to take that into the charity that we're running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will get into that. I promise. And we've got fashion
Yeah.
shows galore coming up very, very soon. I
Galore?
can't wait for this. Oh yeah, galore.
Hopefully
Yeah.
it won't be a
How many other people have
disappointment.
we got coming?
No, you're both modelling, I believe.
We are.
We are.
I'll be
yeah.
playing some gentle music in the background, and now wearing. It's going to be that kind of thing. I'm afraid. Okay, and you've only got a very small catwalk.
Yes.
Remember, it's the Steinway room.
Yes, that's
It's only
right.
15 to 20 feet. You've got to walk up and down. Okay, just imagine that.
Catwalk.
But you're,
Really?
Yeah. Well, hey, come on. Use your
Sorry.
imagination there, Maria.
Okay.
But I like to talk about people's passions.
Yeah.
You work on a shop floor. Where do you go from there? And how do you end up being here with this collection that you've got behind? And you may be able to see it through the door. Can you see it?
On the rails,
On the
yeah.
rails. She brought in a whole rail. She's walked that rail from High Wycombe along the M40. She dragged it behind her car. It was great, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it took days to get here.
And the dresses haven't suffered at all.
No.
You drip dried them and they're all fine.
Perfect.
But where'd you go from the shop floor to what makes a woman do what you're doing now?
Well, after I'd been in industry a while, I went back into further education, and I was a technician for a while on a fashion and clothing course, and then I taught, and then I became course leader. So I spent 12 years teaching students.
In a technical college, a further FE college?
Yeah,
Wow, so you've gone right round in the circle.
It was, and preparing them for the industry. And one of the things that really captured my imagination was the ethical fashion movement.
Yes.
I was one of the sort of pioneering.
You can use pioneer. I love that.
Pioneering lecturers that really brought ethical fashion into the classroom, so that students would go into the industry prepared and aware of the issues in the industry and how to engage designers and buyers and retailers in working ethically.
Let me ask a question, because I've got a friend who is not my godchild, but he's related to my godchild, who was in the fashion in that industry, in the ethical clothing industry.
Yeah.
And it was quite interesting, that whole thing, because the stats on the clothes that are being, and you put it on your video, which people can find out online, but you put stats, frightening stats actually, that of the amount of waste that comes out of factories. People wear it once or don't wear it at all, put it in the thing and then throw it away.
They do, yes.
I mean, what are the implications for that in terms of the makers, the people who on poverty wages and?
Well, one of the projects we've done is we've worked with a factory in Leicester, and just partnering with garment workers in this country, and recognising the challenges that they have to face on the factory floor, but also in management, to make clothes in a way that they can support their workers properly is really, really difficult.
Yes.
There are high street brands in this country that are all about profit, and
they tend to be, without naming them because I don't want to be sued, but without naming them, they tend to be the kind of massive supermarket type brands, do they, or not? Or are they more ethical?
I'm not going to go into that.
No.
No. I'd prefer not to be recorded, because I have relationships with a lot of the people that work in these industries, and buyers for big brands, and through the project that we did with Leicester, I got to know quite a lot of the ethical what were they called?
Suppliers, or no, not
the ethical compliance managers.
Yes.
It's upsetting, and sadly, out of you probably saw stuff on Sky News about the factories in Leicester, and some of the big brands were mentioned there. And what's actually happened is, rather than those industries remaining in the UK and helping those factories, I think I'm fairly confident that about half of the factories that we were working with only 9 months ago no longer exist.
Gosh.
The retailers have gone abroad because it's just easier.
Yes.
It's easier that's the way to solve the problem.
But this is not, I mean, it's not an answer. Ethical questions remain massively important for Christian people.
They do.
They do, and it should do. They should be high on the brand. And we should buy ethically, and we should always have that in our heads. I don't understand why people go, well, if it's cheap. People say you can't afford. Part of the issue is we can't afford to be ethical. I.e., if people are poorer, then they can't afford to do that. What's your answer to that?
It's tough, but we live in a society where we expect a wardrobe full of clothes.
Yeah.
And it's about buying new every season, and not keeping something in the wardrobe for, well, if you're lucky, a few years.
Yeah.
When really we should be wearing clothes for life.
I really love that. So wearing clothes for life.
Yeah.
That sounds like the slogan that could be stuck up somewhere, wouldn't it? That's it. Wearing clothes for life. Do you know, my dad, it's very interesting, he's now 91, and he bought suits when he was in his 20s, mid-20s, 30s. And do you know, my dad still up until he's now gone into a home, but up until very recently, he was wearing those same suits. I would see him in the black suit, the grey suit, the silver suit, the burgundy suit, whatever it was.
Yep.
And he's still got them in his wardrobe.
Yes.
And my mother's fantastic at recycling stuff. I go to see her tomorrow, and she would say, "Oh, Dad, I don't want anything new. I've got enough. I've got more than enough." So there is an attitude, maybe, which is more the boomer generation and post-boomer generation, the young people, and these flipping phones. This is what.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? The youngsters, they don't want to be seen again in the outfit that they were wearing the last time they were doing their Instagram or whatever. So they fill up their wardrobes with masses of things and then ditch the clothes afterwards.
Thankfully, there is a culture of young people that are saying no to this.
Good.
Recycling.
Good.
Yeah.
And looking at buying from charity shops and altering clothes. But the skills aren't being taught in schools very well anymore.
No.
And that brings me, do you alter stuff?
Yes.
I'm coming to you. In my
Okay.
work.
It's my other side business.
Well, definitely.
Yes, I do
No,
dressmaking alterations, curtains, upholstery,
Right.
you know.
Okay.
Anything anything with a needle and thread.
We'll be on our way.
We're on our way to. Well, Sue used to do a lot of
I
stuff.
did used to do a lot of, before I met Jonathan actually, I used to
Oh,
do
right.
a lot of dressmaking because I had lots of time on my hands. And I used to enjoy making my own clothes and finding fabric that I really liked. I liked the feel of it or whatever, and I would find a nice pattern and make something for
You would. You
myself.
still. Even when we got married, you had the.
I had the sewing machine, didn't I? Yeah, I did do it, but I haven't done it for a long time. But it's interesting because I often end up repairing things for other people.
You
because
mentioned
they don't know
something to me
how
this morning about when you made the
Oh yes,
back in the
when
day. Now just
back
listen
in, back
to this.
in the day, I
because it
I-
relates to what you're doing.
A friend of ours was getting married, and unfortunately, the family hadn't been very supportive about it. So the church family said, "Well, look, we'll all help if we can." So we were all offering what we could do, and I said, "Well, I could help with the cake, or I could help with something or other." And I said, I do a bit of dressmaking, and I could help with making the bridesmaids' dresses. And the next thing I knew, I had 3 bridesmaids' dresses to make, or 2 or 3 bridesmaids' dresses to make, and that was fine. We got the pattern, got the fabric, but because they were West Indian family, they were just a completely different shape to me. And I sort of found myself sort of cutting it out and sort of tacking it together and took it to them, and they just went, "Well, this isn't fitting, is it?" So I was suddenly
With
really
your
stuck.
measurements that you'd done?
Yeah, with this sort of, that they were a standard size, but the size wasn't standard. That was the point. It is, isn't it, Maria? It's sort of not a standard size.
No.
They say a woman of a size 16 or a size 18 or a size 12. We're all different shapes and sizes. That's the point.
Do you find that's relevant for the? Because let's come on to the dresses because I don't know whether to sing a song and get you guys. I'll ask this question, then it's fashion show time. I'm afraid. But you're making dresses, and tell us about this project. Tell us about how this came about, and then we'll have a look at the garments, I think they're called in the industry.
So about 12 years ago, I took voluntary redundancy from my teaching job.
Yes.
Really felt called to a change in life. Probably the worst financial time for us as a couple. My husband had been made redundant and was retraining as an electrician, but God doesn't. He pushes the buttons when he wants, doesn't he? And I started sewing and doing alterations for people, and then felt called to do a theology course. And while I was on the theology course, we studied social transformation. And part of the assignment was to look at different groups of people and how they were transforming communities. And I looked at 2 groups, one in Africa, and it was a women's group doing sewing projects to support people out of poverty, and a group in the Midlands that were doing a similar thing. And they were making shopping bags. And the people that know me know that one of the things that grieves me most is when we don't value the time that someone puts into making something. And they were selling these shopping bags for a few pounds, barely covering the cost of the fabric and not honouring how much the time had been spent. Even if they were volunteering their time, not honouring the time that had been spent to make the product. And they asked, the group in Africa particularly asked me if I could design a dress for their mamas to make so that they could sell them to the tourists.
Yeah.
And I'd already done a fair trade project while I was teaching at college with our students, with fair trade producers in Peru and Bolivia, and with Topshop. And while I was there, I sort of realised that these women were all using hand-operated straight-stitch sewing machines, that they couldn't access zips or buttons or interfacing, and there was no electricity. And so basically our students had to design a product that they could make within the environment that they were in.
Yes, yes.
And I needed to do a similar thing with this project. But with the added complication that when you make a dress, if you're setting up a enterprise, you also have to think about the sizes, which increases the cost of setting up your business because you need so much stock. So the dress had to be one size and size adjustable.
Gosh. So that's the kind of the problem to solve.
And the fact that it needed to meet Western quality standards, but be made on a hand-operated straight-stitch sewing machine, and it couldn't have a zip, a button, or any commercial fastenings or interfacing in it.
Do you know what? This sounds like trying to escape from Apollo 13, as far as I'm concerned. You know when they had...
No duct tape was used
in the making of this thing. I mean, it does. You could have said to me, because I did needlework at school. Okay, we were
Did
forced
you?
to. Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, you were forced to do it.
Well, we were. No, I mean, boys, I was useless at anything to do with my hands. So metalwork, they threw me out.
Okay.
And he was the one who, Mr. Canutt, who said, Jonathan, I do hope you can do something else apart from this. Right? And then I went to do, and I quite enjoyed. I stitched a cushion. I did I did
You
at that time
stitched a
cross stitch.
cushion?
Well, I made a cushion.
Good.
You know, and I made it, did the four sides, and embroidered a little thing on the front. I don't know where it went. I think my mother threw it away.
Where it went
I think
either.
she threw it in the bin together with my stool that wouldn't stand up, my angle poised down that didn't angle and was not poised. So my mother, bless her, she's got them somewhere. But that all those problems would have posed. Did you just love the challenge? Because it looks to me like you do. You're that kind of girl, aren't you?
Yeah, I did. I loved it. The assignment, all we were actually asked to do for the assignment was to write an action plan, and I was like, nah, you can't just write an action plan for something like you've got to do the goods, haven't you? You've got to come up with a solution. It had a few other kind of variations before we got to this final product, and I'm aware there are some design tweaks that at some point I'd like to sort of solve. We've had a sort of a sleeve product that's been. Haven't had the time to put it in production.
No.
But we do have a sort of a little sleeve for. But that will come at some point.
Do you know what? Do you know what I think we need to do? I think I'm going to sing a song. I'm going to do, just to give you a warning, Rachel, I'm going to do Bring Him Home for Penny Webble. Penny's Webble, but they don't fall down. And in fact, it was for John, wasn't it? You didn't mark that down.
Do you want us to
So you're
change
gonna
out
go
of the
out.
dresses we already have
Well, no,
on?
what we'll do, first of all, I'm going to sing the song, and then you'll come and you'll do the catwalk along from there. And then you can demonstrate and talk us through the first one.
Yeah.
And then Sue will go and change, and your one, the one that you're wearing, and the various prints. Because what I'd like people out there to do, and I know there are people out there in JV Steinway room land who are thinking to themselves, actually, I find if you're anything like me, I hate going to shops. And if you're I hate going to shops because I hate my body shape and all of that kind of stuff. And it looks, and they'll say something, oh, you're a bit big, aren't you? Something like that, and it will embarrass me, or I hate trying on. And it might be something that actually really, and we want you to do this tonight, which is I'm really pushing this because of the amount of money that goes to to make up the next charity that serve people through this charity. What's the charity called?
The Dorcas Dress Project.
That's the Dorcas Dress Project. I don't want to get that wrong. The Dorcas Dress Project, where you can start searching online afterwards. But we'd love you to buy a dress, and even if you can buy it for someone else, if you can't afford it yourself, if you can't afford it, then obviously you can't afford it. I can't buy. I'm not going to buy dresses for you, but there are many ladies out there who could buy it for someone else, maybe, as well as for yourself.
Or just donate to the actual
Or donate
project.
to the project. If you can't afford to buy the dresses, that's fine, but you can see what they're doing here and the value of what they're doing. And the fact is, Maria, that what happens is that the money they make, then they in these economies where often live on less than $1 a day, it's actually, you teach them to earn money for themselves.
Yeah, so rather than running our charity like the majority of the industry do, where production dressmakers and tailors probably only get about 3% of the retail price, we make sure all our dressmakers get 30% of the retail price.
Yeah.
And when they sell their garments locally, we make sure before we set up a sewing hub that there's a local market for them to sell at, that the competition around them is not going to compete with our dress, and they've got local fabric available for them, and that they will be able to make a living wage out of it locally. We then buy their first 6 dresses at a retail price that's appropriate in the UK,
Yes.
which covers the cost of the fabric, but it also enables us to buy a sewing machine for that dressmaker. So she's set up with her own equipment and her own ability to go then and earn money, either making dresses or doing some of the other sewing and mending activities that we encourage.
We'll find out what countries you go to after, and the kind of projects that you've got going, and some good news stories and things that have changed people's lives. We love this. We love you being in the room. It's very exciting. Actually, I love doing this. You can tell I'm quite up and I'm excited because it's different. It's so totally different for me. So when you're going out there, could you get me my moments while you do your?
So this song is for Joanne Wright, whose husband Gary is very poorly in hospital, and she is also poorly herself now. Poor Jo is very poorly herself with COVID, so she's not feeling well enough to be able to go and visit her husband either. So it's a very hard, dark path that they're on at the moment, and we know that Jo, you watch on a Sunday night. So if you are watching, this is for you.
This is for you, Jo.
My prayer, hear my need. You have always been there. He's let him rest, heaven blessed. Bring him home, bring him home. Bring him home. He's like the son I might have known. God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one. How soon they fly. On and on, and I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He is young. He is only a boy. You can take, you can give. Let him be. Let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home. That's from the master
That was
arranger
awesome.
Mark Edwards
Awesome.
and moi.
Amazing.
Hope you enjoyed that. I haven't sung that for a bit, actually, not
That
since.
was stunning.
last
Absolutely
week.
stunning. Really beautifully sung.
Was that well?
done, yeah.
A long, long note. And now, what we've all been waiting for.
Your
and I'm
tablet
gonna-
time.
Oh, tablet time. Yeah. I was.
Whilst, Maria, whilst he's taking
Yes.
this,
It's odd. Go on.
can I? Oh, I'm going to try and come out.
Do you want to have my microphone and then
I'll try and bring mine over here.
okay.
What I want you to do is, whilst Jonathan's taking the tablets, can you explain to people, without undressing me, sort of how the dress works? Is that all right?
Can we share microphones?
Yes, we can. I'll take. Okay, I'll take this.
Okay, so the dress is size adjustable. You can. I'm going to undo this one tie. Is this the right one? No,
Sorry.
hang on a minute. Let me get this right. Don't worry, this one. I'm going to. There's pockets in the dress here because every woman likes pockets.
We do.
And then the idea is I'm going to do it on my dress because I feel a little bit safer doing it on mine.
Yeah, I feel safer you doing it.
As you can see, the bib, if you like, comes up, which means you can breastfeed in it if you're nursing.
It's going to be useful for me, I'll tell you that one.
It's also suitable for pregnancy, so you can sort of use it. What we refer to it as all seasons of a woman's life.
Okay.
And
That's a nice way of putting it.
it is. It is. You can fluctuate in size and still get in the dress. And you did say women could buy the dress, but actually it's a real good cop out for men because they don't have to know their woman's their
size.
Their size. You see.
I'm just going to do a little bit of background music for you.
Okay, right.
And then what else do you want to know?
Well, I mean, it's sort of that one. So basically, when I put this on,
yes.
I sort of started at the back and came forward and then went round the back again. Is that
you
right?
did, yes. So
Yes.
it's. I'll show you in more detail.
You don't have have to. It's just I'm just trying to explain that the idea.
There's some ties at the back here.
Sorry.
There's some ties at the back here. And the dress pleats at the sides, and that's where the size adjustableness comes in. And then it's one piece, but I didn't want to produce a wrap that then showed leg, which is why it folds and pleats rather than wraps, as you were. And then the nice thing about it is that you can wear the tie on the waistband either showing, or you can tuck it underneath depending on how you feel so inclined, like you're wearing it. And the neckline can either be a cowl, and the idea is that depending on how full your busts are, it sits differently, and as you've got it, you can gather it up at the neck if you prefer. And if you look on the website, you'll see that it's one size, and every single model that we have in the dress is wearing exactly the same size dress.
Awesome. Yes.
I didn't think I'd ever get to a show. We've done 3 years. I'd never get to the point where I thought I'd heard the words, whatever your bust size is. That's not something I would have thought of in my show. But there we go.
In the Steinway room.
In the Steinway room. Thank you,
Busts were moved.
Mr. Cooper, for bringing that into my Steinway room. I think it's fantastic. I mean, it's a great design, isn't it? I was just playing a little bit, and here we see the ladies wearing. If you just do a bit of a twirl, and we see the back there coming round into the shoulders.
Yeah.
It just
It's a nice wrap over
fits,
here.
wrap over there. Yes, that's what's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
And very easy to get on, ladies.
Well, I think once you've worked out which direction you're going in, yes. It's but it's hugely comfortable because
Really?
you put it on and you put it into your size.
Yeah.
So half the time I'm sort of trying to fit into a dress at the top because I have to get it to fit around the hips. So this is quite nice to have something.
So actually, for people with awkward shapes, it's terribly good.
I don't think many women are actually.
No, I don't think anyone's in awkward shape either.
Is that, you wouldn't use awkward? All right.
No,
Well,
no.
awkward. If you hold on. Let me. If I look as a gent, right?
Yes.
They do. Let's take Mark's M&S. All right. They do a suit. Now this suit, I think this is. No, it's actually collezione. So that's Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah.
Now I pick it up second hand. Always for all my jackets from
Charity shops.
But when you go in, I went to try and get a suit, and I'd had the operation. I couldn't find anything to fit me here or there. It was either they hang off the shoulders there, or if they didn't do up there. And so because they believe people are of a standard size,
Yeah.
don't they?
So that's
The
a problem
fashion
with the
industry.
sizing.
Is it a problem with the industry rather than the body?
Yeah, thank you, Maria.
You see, you're much more intelligent than I am. You've saved so many people from feeling humiliated. It's a problem with the industry rather than the body.
I would say so, yeah.
But how does an industry make for people? I mean, you're doing it now, and you're saying, actually, I can see the shapes, for example. It's wider on the hips. You can afford, and I'm constantly looking at you in dresses, aren't I?
you
I buy dresses for
He's
you.
very good at buying dresses for me. He is.
Oh, that's good to
mate.
know.
See, I do
Yeah.
like, and I noticed quality of fabric. I know these prints. Now, the prints also are very unique. I mean, I think that one more unique than that one. That has more
Yes.
flowery a print
So-
that would be on the fabric that would be standard.
This has been printed by a group of people in Nigeria.
Yes.
Yes. So printed locally and then made locally by our Nigeria hub.
Right.
This dress was one of the first samples, and it was made out of what the industry call cabbage.
Cabbage.
What does
Cabbage.
that mean?
They're basically waste fabric that's come off the factory line and is not going to be used.
Goodness gracious.
But I love it because it's got a very drapey feel about it. That's what I like about
yeah,
it.
Yeah. So I mean, the dress was designed so it could be made in Asian sari fabric.
Yes.
It could be made in Ankara African cotton.
Right.
It could be made in alpaca from South America. I was really careful about what techniques I used when I was designing it, so that it had the ability to be to celebrate the heritage of the people
Of
that
each
were
country.
of each the dressmakers.
See, this is so culturally sensitive as well, isn't it? That you're not imposing a kind of Western fabric design or concept.
I'm not
even.
appropriating.
No. Oh, I don't. That's another word. And that one we've got lost in kind of wokeism on that one, but I don't care about that. But what if I think culturally sensitive design for everything actually that we use? You know, we are not. They don't. People in Nigeria. I know a lot of people from Nigeria, and they are beautifully colourful.
Yes.
In their fabrics, and they want to really state something when they're wearing something.
They do, yes.
You know, which actually a lot of English clothes are understated in a more, you know, kind of Laura Ashley type of.
Well, we do have an understated Harris tweed on the rail.
Right. Well, let's. What I'll do is I'll sing a song. You get this thing on, okay, and then come back and let's see dress number 2. So get that camera back on me. Then I've done my tablets. I've done my time. And people asking, by the way. About me and my fall from grace or my fall from bed. This is what I now have in bed, so that I can drink without smashing things. The cut is still massively. It was quite a big cut, and it hurt me when I fell out of bed. Slightly humiliating. Now I'm going to do a song. Actually, I thought this was for the days. Peter's not been feeling well. Lou's not been feeling well either. But I think it's one for them, and I think I'll play it on the piano. It's a song I used to do a lot on the show, and it comes from an album that I recorded years ago called All That Matters, and it goes like this. Here's life in all its mystery, the beauty and the tragedy, the silence and the symphony, and everything between. And deep inside the heart of man, the need to know and understand. Are we a part of some great plan, or just a passing dream? Philosophers philosophize, but rarely look you in the eyes. And politics is compromise that rides the ebb and flow. And money talks and fashion screams to fill the space inside your dreams. If you want something to believe, I tell you what I know. My maker is my savior, my creator is also my friend, and to find him and his favor is all that matters in the end. Are the age decrees. We may not speak in certainties, but that's what Jesus is to me. He's the bedrock of my soul, the Savior who can really save, a power stronger than the grave, the greatest gift I'll ever have, the deepest joy I know. My maker is my savior, my creator is also my friend, and to find him and his favor is all that matters. He's all that matters. He's all that matters in the end. And that was for the days. Have they got
Well,
any
it's for
special?
Lou, actually. It
Oh,
was
for
for
Lou.
Lou Day because it was her birthday on Friday.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yes.
happy birthday,
So,
Lou.
yes, it
And
was
Lou
for
Day's
Lou.
been, those of you who haven't seen them, have they been on each week? I
Most
haven't-
weeks, yeah, most
I
weeks,
haven't
yeah.
seen. Well, they've been playing in brass bands with Stuart McCready, who is he on tonight?
Nope. I haven't se- well, he might be, but he might be on YouTube.
All right, okay.
Can't
Well,
tell.
they've been playing brass bands together, and they've been playing with us at Christmas, and they'll be playing again with us hopefully at Christmas.
Yeah.
If we're ever asked again, so of course. And so we have the ladies have changed, and they're now in some other costumes which are much more staid, aren't they? My goodness. So in design terms, is it exactly the same
Exactly
dress?
the same design. Exactly the same design.
Look at the fabric.
So you can see that how different it looks in the different fabric.
So could you turn around please slowly, Sue? So you've never been a model before. So there we have.
And there is a reason why that.
No, and now back again. Yes. So again, easy to. Can we see you, Maria? Can. Okay. And so again, with much, it looks like strangely there. It suddenly looks more practical. It feels like a practical dress rather than a dressy dress. You understand what I mean? It feels slightly more. And I'm going to use the word. I don't mean to use this word, but utilitarian as a dress. And sometimes you need a dress that will be like that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a Harris tweed, so
You're joking.
So this has been
seen
the fabric has been woven in Scotland, and the lining is an old John Smith factory shirt fabric made up in Manchester. And what we're doing here is we're celebrating British manufacturing.
Yes.
So this will have been made by one of our UK beneficiaries.
Brilliant. Now the difference here, the difference in cost is quite huge between
It is.
this one and that one, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, the wool alone costs over £30 a metre.
Oh my word.
And it's made with sheep from the UK, so the carbon footprint
The
is...
sheep make it as well, do they?
Yeah,
That's
they
very
do.
Clever.
Yeah,
That's
they're very
incredible.
clever sheep
They
up
sit there and they
north.
just-
Yeah, yep. Whereas this dress was made in Leicester. It was a project we ran last year, supporting garment workers in Leicester with English lessons. And it's made out of a recycled polyester jersey that was knitted in Leicester as well.
So that's great stuff. So the recycling.
Yeah, that was old water bottles or the like.
Or the like.
Yeah, before it was a dress.
Seriously.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome idea.
That is, see, I think that's good. I mean, what you are really at the forefront here of this kind of stuff, aren't you? I mean, you really are. This is pioneering stuff.
There are a lot of designers doing this, using these materials and resources.
Yes.
But the difference is that their businesses wanting a profit.
Yes.
Whereas what we're doing is we're wanting people to buy these products at the same price that they would buy them from Monsoon or
Yes.
Wallace.
Yes.
We've price matched it with,
Yes.
the higher end of the high street.
Yes.
But we're wanting to feed those profits back into supporting people, and those people that get forgotten in the industry, the tailors and the garment workers.
Yes. Yes. At the lower end and at the and in the British end here.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, and I know they don't get paid a lot. I know they,
No.
but traditionally they haven't, have they?
No.
There's been this kind of, I don't know, they're the Cinderella kind of industry. Well, the makers are, certainly not the designers.
Yeah.
The designers get the top wax.
It's also got something to do with the fact that over 95% of the industry is made up of female workers, and female workers sadly get exploited more than male workers do.
We've heard all this many times in this room, and actually how women are treated. This is quite, and this room will champion the women's rights, women's the right actually to just be on a par with a man. The very notion in 2023 that women are still at the bottom of the pile doing these things, they're getting paid nothing for it, and yet people in Monsoon being paid to charge a fortune for it.
I was in a conference the other day that actually said that if we maintain the progression of women's rights at the rate that we're doing at the moment, because it's slowing down, we won't we won't get equality for another 220 years. That's scary, isn't it?
Very
Well,
scary.
it is scary. Well, we were talking just this afternoon to a couple, and I said to them about this, that often women's rights are shelved. Like now, when there's a recession, people say, well, these things must go. We can't do this, this, and this, and this because it's a recession. So training or whatever else goes. And I think actually, when we're in a difficult time, any progression made in women's rights, suddenly people go, well, we can do that later. We can do that later. But at the same time, what it's constantly fueling is the poverty that they experience, not just in this country, but across, but particularly in third world countries.
So at the moment, if someone buys a garment that's made in Africa or India or somewhere like
Then at
that,
the
what
time-
sort of percentage goes to the person who makes the garment?
Generally in the industry,
Yes.
well, you probably know that Tradecraft and Tier Fund have really struggled to produce fair trade products.
Yes.
And part of that is because they can't maintain the required wages to make the products at a profit to
Right.
enable the production.
No.
And even fair trade products, garment workers probably get 3%. Still, that is a fair wage in their country.
That's a problem again, isn't it?
It is. I mean, for example, in Nigeria, when we were pricing up dresses in Nigeria, the daily rate for someone wanting to work for the day, so if you went to the marketplace and said, would you like a day's work, was 3,000 naira.
And what's a naira?
Don't ask me how to translate
You can
it at
trace
this
it.
moment in time. For the cost of their living and for being able to pay for their children's education and all those sorts of things, and to buy groceries for the week and live an adequate lifestyle, not a lavish lifestyle, but an adequate one, they need to be paid 7,500 naira a day.
Right, so it's quite a major change.
Major gap.
Yeah.
Can I just, because look at the time.
Oh, yes.
I know, we've had such a good time. See, I told you time would just go away. We started late, so we'll finish slightly late. How can people get hold of this stuff? Because before you do that, could you just go to the rail and bring in a few more colours? Just go to so we can see a few more of the dresses that people want to buy. So if you could just hold them up. So you take that one. Right, let's have a look at these. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? I like that. I love that one on the left, that colour. It's very autumnal. And look at this one
So
here.
this one was, if you look really carefully, you can see a print underneath the tie dye.
Yes.
And so the fabric underneath was not selling in Nigeria. So they tie-dyed it, and then it was used in a dress.
Fantastic.
So it was, taking
one?
waste.
Look at that. That's quite out there, isn't it? That one.
It's falling off the hanger.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I'll take it. Look at that. It's like a luminous blue, isn't it? I love that.
There will be more in the near future.
But you've got about 5 or 6 to choose from straight off
Yeah,
there. in
we
colours.
do, and it would be really great to.
What's that one? Oh, that's very. Look at that, people. Look at that. Can you see that? Hold it closer to the camera. I think that's a real dressy dress, isn't it? It looks like an evening dress almost. Quite shiny.
So what we try to do is we encourage people to buy the dresses, but one of the things we also want to encourage people to do, if they really want to support these women, is to consider sponsoring them. And so what you do is you sponsor the production of 6 dresses.
Yes.
And you can't do this you'd have to contact me directly to do this, but you sponsor a dressmaker to make 6 dresses. She makes those 6 dresses, and we pay a UK wage for those products.
Yeah.
And that is enough money for her to cover the cost of her fabric and to buy her a new sewing machine and set herself up in business.
Wow, that's the key.
And
Teach them how
that
to
is
fish.
key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that idea, isn't it? It's that constant thing about helping people to help themselves, to find a way of earning a living. When we were in
Yeah.
Ethiopia, that's what we were constantly looking at, people that had set up projects. And you work out of churches, don't you? Work out of
We
established
do.
churches.
We won't sponsor women unless they are connected to a local church or to another Christian charity.
And the reason for that is that you need to know that where the money's going. You need to know which channel. It's a trusted channel.
Yes,
Is that
and
correct?
it's also to do with networks as well.
Yeah.
Because we need to sell dresses.
Yeah.
And if we just connect with one person, we don't grow our network, which doesn't support that person at all.
No.
So it's about building relationships with wider communities.
This has been really eye-opening for me, actually. It's been fantastic to have you here. Well done, Michael Cooper. It's been it's such an interesting evening for me because, of course, I don't know anything about this. You know, I'm fairly ignorant. I mean, I know little bits and snippets, but until we've talked with you, do you know what? It's lovely to meet somebody who is quite cerebral, quite intelligent about this. You've thought about this project. It's not just a thing you go, I better do this. I'll throw this up against the wall and hope that it sticks. This is a planned operation that actually has some real thought and some real intellect behind it, some real love behind it, of the love of the gospel, actually, of the good news, and sharing that people, you know, when I was hungry, you fed me.
Yeah.
That's what this room exists to do. Just a last statement from you. I always ask, is there anything you want to say to people? You know, how to give effectively to you, and if you want contact, how can we contact you? Is it email, direct email from the site that we've got there?
The website has a newsletter you can connect with. You can message me through that. You can ask to be on the prayer WhatsApp group where you will be the first to know of what's going on and what's going wrong.
Yeah.
Because it does go wrong.
Yeah.
And the things you can do are buy a dress. You could. We've got earrings on the website that have been made by local pop-up workshops that we run here in the UK, made out of old milk bottles, just as an aside. They
can be very heavy on the ears, can't they?
Milk
bottles.
Milk bottles.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. We've got a total giving charity giving page, which we've actually opened specifically because I'm here in the Steinway room. Good. And we're asking people if they'd be generous enough to just give to our general pot.
Yes.
We have over the last 12 months, we've gone from having 4 or 5 beneficiaries to having over 100.
Oh, wow.
And we're serving people currently in the UK, in Shropshire. The project in Leicester is pop-up, and the more dresses that we made in Leicester that we sell, the more we can do in Leicester. And it will, dip in and out as funds allow. We have a project in Oxfordshire that we've just set up with a hotel that houses asylum seekers. Yes. And we have 20 women coming along, altering clothes that have been donated. And we're actually making flowers just to do something lovely for the local community. We have 2 hubs in Uganda at the moment, and we're working with 3 charities in Burundi. But where we're wanting to actually grow is in a Tanzanian refugee camp. Yes. We've got requests for a hub in Kenya, one in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
This is difficult.
Yeah, and potentially one in Rwanda. Yeah. And that giving that goes on that total giving site can be gift aided, and it enables us to go to other trusts and ask them to match fund what we've already grown. Trust funds are more willing to give if they're only giving half of the budget. Yes. And also, we can't ask trust funds to help us advertise and market what we're doing.
But you need to advertise stuff, so this is the way.
And if we don't sell dresses, then we don't support beneficiaries. No. If people don't know what we're doing, then it becomes a dead end.
Maria, we have to shut now. We have to go. We have to close the Steinway room one more week. But you've been an absolute. I hope you've enjoyed being in here. You've been very, very relaxed, and you've given a very
great.
good account of
Been
yourself.
absolutely great.
You were worried and you were nervous. Nothing to be nervous about. You say you've had a great time, and we've had a
It's
great
all
time.
down to the hosts.
Absolutely. Actually, it's down to you and the vision that
Absolutely.
you have, and we are so. I see your passion coming through, and that's what we love. We love people with passion, and I think that should be a title of the program. And people with passion, and that actually is such a lovely thing to see, and so many things are done through that. Please give generously in the way.
The address of where to give to is actually on the screen at the moment, jvlive.uk/Dorcas dress project, and that will take you through to your link to actually donate. And if they want to just contact you directly to chat to you about your, what the best fabric would be to do a, forest school or something like that, just write to you. Or
Maria at dorcasdressproject.org.
Excellent.
Yeah. And if
Thank
anyone
you.
wants to set up a local hub, they may have a local hotel of asylum seekers, and they can dressmake themselves, then I'm all up for setting up new hubs.
I love this. This is just fantastic.
You're so creative, Maria.
And lovely.
Fantastic.
And God of the refugee, God of the prisoner and the free, we come to you. Remember that song, which is one of our community songs. And I think what's lovely is that we'll go towards the end now. Rachel, if we could have Go Peaceful, that would be great, and we can say goodbye to people. And thank you so much for coming. Remember, next week is our 3rd anniversary, and we're just going to be here with you. We're just going to remember some stuff. We might put a few videos up of stuff. We wanted to have Sue Rinaldi. Unfortunately, she was busy that weekend. But we're going to love having you company, and we may even just call on a few people for some recollections on Zoom. So stand by if that's going to be you, if it's going to work. We just want to thank you for your generosity in giving so generously to so many projects. And tonight we ask you for more generosity to give tonight to Maria and to all of her colleagues for the design, the thought behind it. And, well, I think tonight has been a real surprise for me. I didn't know what to expect. And I love to see people. Isn't it quite exciting?
Of just seeing what you can do if you just take the skills that you've got and apply it to a problem. That's what you've done, Maria, isn't it? You've just taken
doing your
skills.
best, pray that it's blessed. Jesus takes care of the rest. Remember that song?
Indeed.
From old Keith Green, that one was. Give your best, pray that it's blessed, and Jesus takes care of the rest. Let's sing Go Peaceful, and we say good night to you. And thank you also to Rachel for...
she's worked
so hard tonight.
Oh, bless her.
I think we haven't got... Oh, we have in here. Have you got yours, Sue? Well, do you want to come and sit with me out here? Come on and throw it here. Don't do this very often, but...
Do you want this one?
No. She's fine.
Hang on, let's just take off
the reverb.
reverb on the two.
And don't forget to buy that book, the Arthur's book. And we'll be seeing you next week, same time, same channel. Hopefully with no technical glitches at all. Yeah, right.
It's all right, it was only a microphone.
I said that as it fell down. Who'd figure it, eh? Here we go.
Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways.
So you're going to join me tonight?
I might do that.
Okay, that's really nice of you.
Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame. Godspeed you, God lead you and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love.
This week we'd like to send out, because it's been a couple of weeks, to Peter Southcombe. Many of you know Peter, and Peter's been having chemo treatment, and it's been a really tough few weeks for him. I also think of a man called Steve, you don't need to know more, in Northern Ireland, and he's having some really difficult time with pneumonia, in hospital as we speak. Do you think of anybody else that needs it right now? So many people. But we think of them. And we think of you, particularly if you've got a difficult week ahead. Hospital visit, maybe you haven't seen your children for a while. You've been a little bit, down. But this verse, let it speak to you.
Be righteous, speak truthfully in a world of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes. God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known, my love.
Always love this bit. And now we sing this final song for you for the last time before we celebrate 3 years of doing this thing around the Steinway piano. Thank you, Judy Graydon, for providing that Steinway piano. It's falling to bits, but broke a key today. There's a key missing. You can't see it, but it's the ivory has
That came
gone.
off in the last show.
Super glue, Sue. That's the only answer.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not touching it. I'll be stuck there. I know I will forever. They never let me do anything like that. They never let me go with a needle. Definitely not, Maria.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you his peace, and give you his peace.
My boys singing that, weren't they?
They were.
It's like the humming chorus from the Madam Butterfly. That's what they like.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you
So finally, I suppose it is, have a lovely week. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for being patient
Even-
with us.
Exactly. Especially, we went up late, but she got it on the road.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel.
So Rachel, we'll see you Friday to dismantle this room. We're moving out.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you his peace, and give you his peace.
I think it's good night from me and it's good night from him. I think.
Good night from him.
Yeah, and it's good night from me. And it's good night from Maria. Thank you, my darling.
You've been a
Nicely
joy,
done.
Maria. Thank you.
You've been lovely. And thank you for letting us share your lovely daughter. That's been great. Thanks, guys. See you. God bless.
Bye.
And see you next week.